In the heart of the Arabian desert lies a legend, a city so rich, so magnificent, that even the gods were said to envy its splendor. Its name was Iram of the Pillars, a place of gold, incense, and arrogance. A city whose towers reached the heavens, until one night, it vanished. No smoke, no ruins, just an ocean of sand. For centuries, no one knew whether Iram was real or simply myth, a warning carved into holy texts, a parable about human pride. But then, in the late 20th century, the sands began to whisper again, and NASA was listening. In 1992, a satellite orbiting high above Earth scanned one of the most hostile regions on the planet, the Rub al-Khali, the empty quarter. What the scientists saw puzzled them. Faint, crisscrossing lines beneath the dunes, like scars hidden under skin. These were ancient caravan routes, invisible from the ground, carved by camels thousands of years ago, and all of them pointed to one place, a circle of stone, buried deep under the sand. When archaeologists from Oman and the United States dug into that spot, they found the unthinkable: fragments of pottery, collapsed walls, and the broken tops of limestone towers. It wasn't just sand, it was a city, buried alive. They had found Ubar. The world called it the Atlantis of the sands. The Quran called it Iram of the Pillars. And for the first time, myth met reality. The excavation revealed something extraordinary. Beneath the surface of Ubar, scientists discovered a massive sinkhole, almost 100 meters wide. The city had been built over an underground cavern, sustained by water flowing beneath it. But as the centuries passed, the stone weakened. Then one night, the ground gave way. The city fell into itself, its towers, its people, its pride, gone in a single breath. To the people of the time, it must have felt like divine punishment. To modern science, it was geology, but to history, it was poetry. Still, Ubar's mystery doesn't end with its fall. Among the ruins, archaeologists found symbols and carvings that didn't belong to Arabia. Some bore the marks of Mesopotamia, others the style of ancient Egypt, and even traces resembling Indus Valley script. It was as if Ubar had once been a meeting point for civilizations, a forgotten crossroads of the ancient world. Long before the Silk Road, before empires rose and fell, Ubar had already become the center of a trade more valuable than gold: frankincense, the aromatic resin burned in temples, used in mummification, and offered to gods across continents. From its ports and markets, caravans carried frankincense through the desert to Rome, Persia, India, and beyond. Ubar was the beating heart of the ancient economy, and when that heart stopped, the world changed. But not everyone believed the scientific story. Local Bedouins said the city was punished by God for its arrogance, that its people mocked the prophets and worshipped their own towers. When the wind rose, they laughed, until the storm did not stop. They say a black wind came from the east, lasting 7 nights and 8 days, burying everything in its path. When it cleared, Iram was gone. Even now, the nomads speak of it in hushed tones. Some say that when the moon is full, strange lights shimmer above the dunes, ghostly lanterns of a city that refuses to die. Others say that if you camp too close, you can hear the sound of hooves, merchants bargaining, and women singing beneath the sand. The desert remembers everything, and perhaps that's what makes Ubar more than just a ruin. It's a mirror. Every civilization believes it will last forever, that its walls are too strong, its cities too advanced, its people too wise. But time is patient, and pride always cracks before stone. The story of Ubar isn't only about a city swallowed by sand. It's about us, about how quickly greatness can turn to dust. When you look at the aerial photos of the site, you see the faint outline of towers once reaching for the sky, now reduced to shadows beneath the dunes. The contrast is haunting, the geometry of human ambition erased by nature's breath. Some archaeologists believe Ubar may have been destroyed multiple times, rebuilt again and again, each generation thinking the desert could be conquered. Each time, the sand proved them wrong. The last attempt, perhaps 1,000 years ago, left behind only pottery and bones, the final whisper of a city that refused to learn. But what if Ubar wasn't just a city? What if it was an idea? A network of trading hubs stretching from Egypt to India, bound by belief, wealth, and curiosity. If that's true, then when Ubar fell, it took with it not just people, but connection. Imagine losing the internet overnight, the silence, the isolation. That's what the ancient world must have felt when the caravans stopped. Temples lacked incense, merchants went broke, and distant empires suddenly felt a little farther away. All because a single city vanished into the sand. Today, scientists still study Ubar's ruins, mapping every fragment, trying to piece together its architecture and its people. But the more they uncover, the less certain they become. Who built it? When? And why did they choose a land so unforgiving, so deadly, to make their home? Maybe they believed, like we do, that knowledge could defeat nature, that progress could outlive humility, that humanity, in all its brilliance, could rise above the elements. But the desert doesn't care about brilliance. It waits. And when we forget our place, it reminds us. There's a line from an old Bedouin poem. The wind does not bury the foolish, it buries the proud. And that may be the truest legacy of Ubar. Its towers are gone, but its lesson endures. That even the greatest cities can fall not because of fire or war or wrath, but because of forgetting who they are. So when you look at the desert, endless, silent, empty, remember the city that thought it could defy time. The city that built its walls so high the stars grew jealous. The city that vanished overnight. Maybe Ubar is still out there beneath the shifting sands waiting for the wind to change. Or maybe it's already here, in every civilization that rises higher than it should, believing the ground will always hold. And when that ground collapses, the story begins again.